Hi, I'm Trish Kelley, the Mayor of the City of Mission Viejo. Welcome to Mission Viejo Today. We are going to tell you more about our wonderful Mission Viejo Library today, and I have with me our Library Director, Stephanie Tanton. Hi, Stephanie.
Hi,
thanks
Trish.
for being with us. Now, we have so much to share about the library. It really is, I think, one of the jewels in the crown of Mission Viejo. And I want to just dive in a little bit and learn more about the library and let our residents learn more about the library. How many visitors do we have to the library?
We have about 2,000 a day, and it's a combination of people that are doing their business out of the library because we have the free Wi-Fi, students that come in after school. We have with people having their own laptops, they come in, they're taking courses online. So we're full of more than the traditional just people looking for books and going to programming.
Libraries have changed a lot over the years, haven't they?
Yes, they really have, and because of that, we've had to change too. So as more people are using their phone as their device for searching on the internet, downloading books, we also have to be right there offering those services and make sure they're reliable. And we can offer, as a tradition goes with libraries, a public library has free resources. So we have had to change the types of things we buy and our priorities and look at how are people getting their information. And that's truly what we want to be. We want to be the place that helps them find the information that they need, no matter if it's in a book or it's on the internet or it's something that they want to take a course online. So it's really enriched both the librarian's knowledge and our services.
Right, and when you talk about coming here to get information, you have everyone from little children, which we'll talk about later,
yes,
all the way through to seniors. You have students, you have just a number of age groups and limitless, really, of who you serve.
Right. And, you know, it's interesting. I met a woman last week, and I've seen her in the library for 4 years. And finally got a chance to talk to her, and she said, well, I own my own software company, but I get much more work coming to the library because it's quiet and I don't have distractions. And then when she gets a phone, so she's on her laptop, and then when she gets a phone call, she goes outside and takes her call. But I found that very interesting because I was thinking she probably didn't have a place to go, but no, she has her own office. It's just that it's very distracting, and she has to concentrate as she's developing software. So things that you wouldn't even think about. And of course, our free Wi-Fi is very important for all ages. Mm-hmm. Students are doing more of their homework and their research online now. So, so we beefed up. We have taken all their traditional reference books that you couldn't check out. Now we have the electronic version, so they can get their homework done from home, or they can use the library 24/7.
That's a good point. Then I know that we have a large number of excellent books and resources here. About how many items do we check out each day or each month?
Wow, we check out about 70,000 items, and that doesn't include ebooks. So electronic books, they're about 8,000 a month, and that continues to grow as we offer more of a bigger collection. So it's interesting. One of our most popular items that is checked out is our picture book collection. We have a very large picture book collection. We match our collection to what the school curriculum is. So we did a little survey in the lobby. Why are you here today at the library? Oh. And it was obvious there was a ghost gold miner homework assignment because the kids were in looking for the California Gold Rush information. We had about 6 of them write that on the board. Oh. So we see trends and patterns, and we build our collection based upon what is needed for kids to be successful doing their homework.
That is so helpful. I know as a parent, I have certainly needed all the help and the resources I could direct my children to when they were growing up, and now as a grandma, I'm going to be doing the same thing with my little ones. So it's wonderful. I've watched some of the ways that you have linked in with the schools, and tell me a little bit about that. What do you do for the schools?
We, traditionally we looked at the homework assignments and we would build those books, but then there was a nationwide change in curriculum to the Common Core standards, and it was just launched in the schools. It's kind of in the pilot program right now, so they don't have all the resources and teacher packets that teachers need. So seeing that this was happening, our staff took webinars and training and read as much as we could about what are these Common Core standards. And what it really is it's engaging students so that they're not just doing rote memorization, they are actually being trained to read a piece of information, draw conclusions, compare it to another article. So it's teaching critical thinking, and also how do they express that in writing. So and then they also have to tie that into like a book on fiction. So if they were reading about pandas, they'd have to read a story about pandas also, so they can see the difference between fact and fiction. So what we did is we realized that we really have all the tools they need, and we could help the teachers and the students, but they had no idea that we had these tools. So we went to the school, the curriculum superintendents of each of our school districts, and showed them what we had, and that in fact we had all these what they call primary sources, so like the original speeches that presidents made, historical documents, all this available online that they could even access in their classroom. And with the budget cuts in the school systems, they no longer had these electronic resources. They used to, but they lost those about 6 years ago. So we started giving e-cards, e-library cards, so that in the classroom, the teacher can use one of our resources and actually build a classroom lesson plan around it. So
that is wonderful, and I know that you have done a lot of work just in reaching out to the principals, reaching out to the teachers. I speak with principals fairly often, and I know that the principals and the teachers really value this as a resource. And so I think it's just wonderful that the library has actually adapted with the changing times, not only with technology, but also with what's going on in the school and with the curriculum. I really thank you for being with us today, Stephanie. It's been fun to hear about the programs. Many of them I knew about, but I got a little extra information.
Okay.
And as I said, this library is such a resource and a jewel in the crown of Mission Viejo that I hope that as residents are watching this, if they haven't been over lately, that they will come and see all the new items that we offer, the new room, the Storytime kits.
Oh yes,
the Storytime kits are wonderful. I have 2 of them at my home right now.
Okay.
So they're kits that parents or grandparents can check out, take home, and do their own story time at home.
Right.
So we do offer so many resources. It's exciting to see where our library has gone, how it began, and where it's at now. It's really a wonderful resource for our residents, and we're thankful for you for the wonderful work you've done over the years.
Thank you.
I'm sad to say that you are going to be retiring, and we hate to lose you, but I know you still live here, so we will be bringing you back as a volunteer and as a resource.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Mayor Trish Kelley, and I'm pleased to say that today we're going to be interviewing with our new Director of Library and Cultural Services, Genesis Hansen. Genesis, welcome to our program today.
Thank you.
And I know that you're not a new face in the library. You have been with us for some years, as well as experience in Newport Beach. And now you've come back to Mission Viejo a couple of years ago. So we're really pleased that we are able to transition from a wonderful library director in Stephanie Tanton to you, who I know will bring new strengths and new ideas and continue the excellent program that our library offers.
Well, thank you so much. It's a wonderful opportunity for me, and I'm really excited about working with the wonderful staff and city government here to continue to bring excellent services to this community.
One of your strengths has been in the media literacy field. Can you tell us what is media literacy?
I sure can. So media literacy is a term that we use to encompass a couple of different things. And one is just the new type of literacy that is involved with the technology skills that people are going to need as they go through life in our technological world. But it also encompasses the way that we use that technology to support traditional literacy skills. So it's sort of two sides, where you actually need literacy skills to learn the technology and then to apply that technology to traditional literacy formats.
And many of us have had to learn along the way as our world has changed. And so this new world of digital literacy is something that our library has come out strong on. And I know that one of the ways that we've been able to accomplish what we have is because of a grant. Can you tell me about the Digital Literacy Grant, what it is and what we're doing with it?
Absolutely. So we received a grant. It's a Library Services and Technology Act grant that we received through the California State Library. And it is to support digital literacy services and collections here at the Mission Viejo Library. It's focused on early learners, so preschool learners at this point. And what it comprises several different components. So we've done a lot of staff training. We were able to purchase some equipment, mainly iPads and an Apple TV unit. And then we're doing parent education. We're incorporating digital elements into our story times, and we're doing a hands-on training class for parents and preschoolers to teach them how to both use the technology, get them familiar with it, and also help them find quality resources, apps and ebooks to use at home, and then model best practices for using that technology for parents to use it with their children, and give them some good tips for using that technology at home.
And I'm so glad I got to see this firsthand, because I brought my 3-year-old granddaughter to, it's called Tablet Time,
That's right.
the new story time program that focuses on using an iPad and using this digital literacy even at that preschool age. The class that I attended is for 3-year-olds to 6-year-olds. So really pulling in that age, teaching them how to handle it, teaching parents what apps are out there that are valuable, because kids love to play on computers, iPads, and anything that has buttons. And it's surprising, it was surprising to me sitting through that class how good these little ones are.
They are. That's where that term digital natives comes from. Kids are naturals, and part of it is because they're fearless and they're not afraid to just tap and learn. In fact, when I talk to parents and they're exploring new technology, I say approach it like a child would. Just start touching stuff and see what happens, because we tend to be intimidated by the technology, but children really aren't. I have 2 boys of my own, and I've been really amazed at how quickly they pick it up and adapt, and how drawn they are to the technology. So as a parent myself, one of my big concerns is what's the best way to use this with my children, and I know other parents have the same concerns, and so that's really one of the reasons that we wanted to do this service.
I know that we have this grant because of you. And you didn't say that, but you applied for the grant, and it is because of your work that Mission Viejo received this grant. So I want to thank you on behalf of all of the residents and the library users here for taking that initiative, for going out and getting that money for us.
Well, you're welcome, and honestly, it's been a pleasure for me to work on the grant, and I've really enjoyed working with our children's staff, and they approached this grant with just such a positive spirit of exploration and willingness to try something new. And they put on such quality programs that I thought, oh, they might be nervous about incorporating a new element, but they were really willing to jump in, try something new, and in fact have done such a good job with it that the grant monitor who came from the state library to watch our last training was so impressed that she's asked our staff to mentor and encourage staff from other libraries who are just stepping out into this area, because they've done such a great job and really, really impressed her. So that was really wonderful to see that compliment to our staff and how well they've done.
That is, and I've heard that even the state is looking at what we're doing here,
Yes.
and it is another example of Mission Viejo really being the lead in another area. So I'm grateful for that. Yeah. Now, I told you I attended a tablet time, story time with my 3-year-old granddaughter. I also attended a story time with my 17-month-old grandson.
Yes.
And this was a class that was geared at age 6 months through 18 months. And I thought, well, he's never going to sit on my lap for 5 minutes or how to listen to this story. But your children's librarian, Marianne, and I know you have a few of them, Marianne Ramsey, so talented.
Yeah.
She had these kids just enthralled.
Isn't she wonderful? Yes.
She is wonderful. Now, I was surprised. I've done quite a bit of storytelling in my life as a volunteer, and I have a flannel board and flannel figures and puppets, and I noticed that Marianne Ramsey used the screen. So tell me about, why do we use technology with preschool story times?
Well, there's a few different elements, and one of the things that we're doing is we're combining some of the technological elements with traditional elements as well, to show parents that there's more than one way, to approach this. But one of the things that the technology allows us to do is very practical, and that is make things more visible. So we have a large screen TV, and when you compare that to a book that's about this size, it really makes it more visible, and it's much easier to keep the children engaged and their eyes forward and participating in the reading and what's going on. We can also project the song lyrics on the screen. Now the little kids, they're not reading yet. That's for the parents, so that they can learn the words, they can sing along during story time and learn those songs, so that when they go home they can sing those songs with their children. And that's really what it's about. It's modeling for parents and teaching them what they can take home and then do at home with their kids to help support them as pre-readers and learning to develop the skills that they're going to need when they become readers.
And I affirm what you said. I was reading those words off the screen, and I thought, this is great, because otherwise, how else would you be able to teach the words to the parents, to the grandmas, and the big screen really is engaging for the children. It's just captivating and holds their attention. And in addition, she still does finger plays and singing and the traditional quote story time elements too, but I thought it was really interesting to see the media that's used and the technology that's used.
And our librarians are also offering some tips during those story times about how to use technology at home with your children. One of the things that we really encourage is sitting down with your child with an iPad or tablet and using it with them, as opposed to just handing your child the tablet and walking away. Now, we know the reality is parents are busy. Sometimes you need to keep your child busy while you're cooking dinner or doing something else, and the tablet can be a nice tool for that. But it can also really be helpful in building relationship with your child when you sit down together and talk through the stories, just like you would with a print book. That can really help both the parent and child relationship, as well as building those skills. So we encourage that a lot.
Genesis, we have a wonderful group here. I know many of the members, the Friends of the Library.
Yes.
I know they do a lot of fundraising for us, and they run the Friends of the Library bookstore, and they really work all year long. It's a board of committed, dedicated individuals who believe in the library and who have stepped in to help to make a difference here in our Mission Viejo Library. Tell me a little bit about the Friends of the Library, the fundraising. Do they raise a lot of money, and what do we do with it?
They do raise a lot of money. They're a fantastic support organization. Last year they gave us about $180,000 towards materials and programs, which is just fantastic. And they're such a great support to us. They have an all-volunteer workforce at the bookstore, and they put in a lot of hours every year, you know, selling used books. And our bookstore is definitely a destination. A lot of people absolutely love it. So, you know, they come in and they know that they can get a great deal on some books. And then they also run our Amazon service, and what they do is they identify books that might be a little higher value and can sell for more money, and we put those up for sale on Amazon.com, and that contributes to, you know, the overall sales and funding that they're providing for us. So yeah, they're just really wonderful and support so many things that we do here.
I remember when they first started the Amazon sales, and I thought, well, that's really resourceful to think of being able to, instead of getting $1 or $5 or whatever for a book on sale in the bookstore, they know the books that are more valuable, and they know how to market them on Amazon.
Yes.
That is great. I love the Friends of the Library bookstore. I try to get in twice a month, and many times, I love the library too, but many times I'll make a beeline just straight for the bookstore and buy my bargain books for my grandchildren and build my own home library, which I certainly have a lot. But it is such a good place for us to be able to shop and to buy used books, to be able to share their adult books, children books, teen books, even I think you have videos and puzzles.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's a great partnership with the library. You know, you can check things out from the library, but if it's something you love and you know you're going to want to read again, or if it's a book that you want your children to have that they can read over and over, because every grandparent and grandparent knows that your kids want to read those same books over and over, it's great to be able to buy those inexpensively and add them to your own home library. You know, books can be really expensive, and so this is a great way to, you know, build that library at home, and we just love it. And we love our volunteers. They're so wonderful.
I know many of my books that I buy here at the Friends Library go home with the grandchildren. So I'm always restocking my own books, but what a wonderful way to be able to buy a book for 50 cents or $1. You just can't find bargains like that anywhere else, and it really, when I come and spend money, I figure that I'm helping myself by building my library and buying books for the grandchildren to take home, but it's also contributing to our wonderful library here.
Yeah, it really is, and you'd be surprised, you know, those 50-cent and $1 and $2 purchases really add up. And, you know, the Friends, you know, they help us buy books, magazines, they support our children's programming, our summer read program. There's so many things that we do here that we depend on them for, and, you know, all of those little purchases that really add up and contribute to making the library as great as it is.
They certainly do, and when you think of $180,000 that in 1 year that was raised and was able to be plowed right back into the library and to provide resources, it really is, I'm always grateful every time I walk into the Friends bookstore. I always like to thank the volunteers who are there, because without them, it would not be a success. And I really credit our director Stephanie Tant and our former director who we're so sad has retired, but she really built that program. There was a Friends of the Library Foundation. She really grew the bookstore element. She took that good basis and took the bookstore element, grew it, and then added the Amazon sales. And I know we have really talented members on that board, everything from doing the accounting and the treasuring and that type of work, to selling the resources on Amazon, to being in the back room sorting the books that come in as donations. So it really is a team effort, and
it is.
I'm thankful for that aspect of our library.
Yeah, Stephanie did a fantastic job of really growing that. The Amazon purchases now, I think they were about $30,000 last year. So even though it's, you know, a relatively tiny portion in terms of number of items that we have on Amazon, it represents a significant chunk of our sales. And so being able to get those additional monies that way has been really, really helpful. And, you know, it's just, you know, we continue to look for those ways to be creative and to really maximize our resources. So it's great to be able to partner with such a wonderful organization and so many committed volunteers.
I am so proud of our Mission Viejo Library. We really have something for everybody, from the 6-month-old baby to the senior citizen, and everybody in between. We've talked a little bit about the story times. The children's book department is excellent here. A lot of selection. There's a children's playroom with puzzles and manipulatives, and an area that kids can go and explore and learn and sit with their mommies or daddies or grandmas and have a good time. We have homework rooms for students who might want to come and work on homework. We have a multitude of resources available, both electronic and hard copy. And it just seems that we have something for everyone. And I'm really grateful for all the work you've done to bring that, not only the regular library programs that one might think of, but also just that new direction of the digital literacy and learning about ways that we can model that and provide that for our students.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We really do see our mission as supporting lifelong learning, and as people age and grow, we want to make sure that we have the resources, programs, and materials that they need to do that. And we will continue to change and grow and add new services as our world changes and as the needs of our community change. So our goal is always to be responsive to the needs of our community and to really provide them the absolute best in quality to support the things that they're trying to achieve and their personal goals.
Thank you, Genesis, and thank you for being with us here today on Mission Viejo Today, and for sharing some of the exciting programs that we have going on in the library, as well as the traditional programs that we have been able to continue and reinforce.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
I want to thank our viewers for watching Mission Viejo Today, and I encourage you to come and visit the library. Check out those storytime bags, kits that you can take home if you're a mom or a grandma. Check out the books and the videos and all of the different digital opportunities that we provide here. There is truly something for everyone here, and I'm pleased that we've been able to share some of those programs and resources with our Mission Viejo viewers today. Thank you.